Today's video begins with a silence. A silence that feels heavier than words, deeper than explanations, and filled with a quiet truth that most of us only understand during life's toughest moments. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, the couple who, for more than 3 decades, have made the world smile with their warmth, humor, and genuine chemistry, are facing a deeply emotional moment today. This isn't another entertainment headline. This isn't another celebrity update. Today's story has a different weight, a human weight. It's a day when their family, their relationship, and the hidden corners of their private lives quietly come to the surface. Years have passed before our eyes. Kelly's radiant smile lighting up every morning show, Mark's steady, grounding presence beside her. Together, they have become one of America's most beloved couples. But today, their story is wrapped in emotion, vulnerability, and a truth that very few see behind the cameras. That morning in New York felt strangely still. The usual pre-show buzz was missing. No laughter from the makeup room, no rushed footsteps, no cheerful chatter from the production team. Kelly walked into her dressing room, and immediately Mark noticed something different. Her face looked tired, her eyes carried a quiet sadness, and her smile, the one the world loves, wasn't there. Mark softly asked, "Are you okay?" Kelly paused for a moment and whispered, "I'm just thinking a lot." Something in that silence told Mark that the day would not be easy. As showtime approached, it became clear that Kelly was trying her best to hold herself together. She rehearsed, she smiled politely, but her mind was far away, somewhere heavy, somewhere painful. Seconds before the camera went live, Kelly took a deep breath, but her eyes told a different story. The show started like any other day, light conversations, smiles, playful banter. But halfway through, Kelly's voice suddenly cracked. She paused. Her eyes dropped. And with a trembling breath, she said softly, "Sometimes life reminds you how fragile everything really is." The entire studio fell silent. Everyone could feel it. This wasn't scripted. This wasn't performance. This was real. Mark gently leaned toward her and whispered, "It's okay. Take your time." For a brief moment, the strong, always composed Kelly Ripa looked like she was carrying the weight of the world. Her eyes glistened, and in front of millions of viewers, she let her vulnerability show. She began speaking about something that had shaken their family deeply in recent weeks, something unexpected, something painful. A few days earlier, the Consuelos family had received a sudden, devastating phone call. A very close family member, someone Kelly and Mark loved like a second parent, had become seriously ill. The news was so sudden, so unexpected, that Kelly dropped everything and rushed to the hospital immediately. Now, remember that a fictitious medical diagnosis does not need to be added to the story. It can stay emotional, human, and truthful without inventing false medical claims. The cold smell of the hospital corridor, the beeping of machines, the sterile rooms, the uncertainty, all of it left Kelly shaken to her core. Later that night, she told Mark, "I realized how fast life changes, how one phone call can turn everything upside down." From that moment on, Kelly wasn't the same. She struggled to sleep, her appetite disappeared, and even when she tried to work, her heart wasn't fully in it. Mark stayed by her side constantly, sometimes holding her hand, sometimes just sitting silently beside her so she wouldn't feel alone. But Kelly kept replaying the same fear in her mind. What if something happens? What if we lose someone we love? Back on the show, while speaking to the audience, Kelly's memory drifted back to that hospital corridor, and she couldn't hold it in anymore. Her voice trembled, her eyes filled, and Mark immediately reached for her hand under the table. Viewers watching live saw something rare. Not celebrity glamour, not performance, but a real couple facing real grief. Mark's eyes softened with emotion. He squeezed her hand gently and quietly said, "We'll get through this, together." Such simple words, but in that moment they held enough strength to lift her heart just a little. Kelly exhaled shakily. She wiped her eyes, and she continued the show, not as a host, but as a human being letting the world see her truth. When the show ended, Kelly walked out quietly. No makeup touch-ups, no backstage jokes, just silence. Mark drove her home, and the two sat together in their living room, the same room where their children once played, where birthday candles were blown, where memories lived. Mark looked at her and softly asked, "What hurts you the most right now?" She stared at the floor for a moment before answering. "I keep thinking about how fast time has gone by, how grown our kids are, how fragile our parents have become, and how easily life can change." Her voice broke slightly. "I just don't want to lose anyone." Mark pulled her close and said, "That fear means you love deeply, but love doesn't disappear. Even when life changes, love doesn't disappear." His words didn't erase the pain, but they brought peace, the kind of peace that comes from being truly understood. The next day, Kelly made a decision. She called her children, invited a few close family members, and asked everyone to come for dinner. When they were all seated at the table, Kelly stood up, her voice soft but steady. "I realized something. We spend so much time rushing through our days, we forget to appreciate the little moments." Her eyes filled with tears. "I don't want to wait for scary moments to remind us how much we mean to each other." Her family surrounded her, hugging, comforting, holding her hands. Mark wrapped an arm around her, grounding her with his presence. That night, for the first time in days, Kelly slept peacefully. The next day, Kelly returned to the studio, but today she looked different, stronger, calmer, lighter. Facing the audience, she said, "Thank you for all your love, your messages, and your kindness. I just want to remind everyone that behind the cameras, I'm human too." Mark stood beside her, nodding proudly. He added with a gentle smile, "She's the strongest person I know." The studio erupted in applause. Viewers flooded social media with messages like, "She made us feel seen. She reminded us we're all human. She is loved by millions." Later that night, when Kelly and Mark stood on their balcony, the city lights shimmering in the distance, Kelly whispered, "I feel lighter today." Mark smiled. "I told you, we're stronger together." And in that quiet moment, something beautiful happened. Their 30-year-long love story found another chapter of strength. Love isn't perfect. Sometimes it trembles, sometimes it breaks, sometimes it cries silently in the middle of a busy day. But true love holds on. True love listens. True love heals. And today, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos reminded the world that even the strongest hearts have fragile moments, and that vulnerability is not weakness, it is proof of love. If this story touched your heart, if you believe that every family faces moments that test their love, then please like, comment, and share this video, and send your support to Kelly and Mark. And remember, sometimes the most heartbreaking moments are the ones that bring us closer together.